turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by the
क्या हाल चाल है बता सकते हैं कैसा क्या तुम्हारा कल का दिन बताओ यार चलो मैं भी लगा लेता हूँ अपने वीसी में आ जाता हूँ लाउड पे और इधर आते ही अपना इनपुट डिवाइस चेंज कर लेता हूँ चलो भाई
is still one of the best initiators in Pacific, and Lakia has always
Yeah,
been under a microscope, especially here on the Pacific
सुन
stage.
पा रहा है?
So now it's that question, right? Can he outperform Stacks in this very role that they became iconic for?
Yeah, I mean, if Lakia pops off today, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Like, you see this with players a lot, where there's that extra bit of emotional motivation that
क्या
doesn't
लगता है कौन जीतेगा
matter. Like, I think anybody who's competed at a high level knows that when you're really emotionally invested in it, it can definitely bring out higher levels, and you can also hurt you as well. But I'm really looking at Lakia today to step it up, to be that big clutch guy, to set up his
चलो
team with his util, make sure
मजा आएगा
temperatures
देखने में
off.
There's
Let's
so many
go.
like head-to-heads that we can just talk about days for days with DRX and Genji. The one that always goes back to me, as was mentioned already, Bane and Charon.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of new names on this stage, so let's see if they're up to the test for this biggest battle. Let's pass it on over to our casters. We have Quack and we have Valdez.
Thank you very much, Deskers. Yeah, it's going to be a big one, you know, the golden blue, and it's going to be the aim of pride. Who's going to be the one that represents Korea? And it comes back down to these two teams. Hey, I'm Quack. This, of course, is Valdez.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I think that, as they were saying on the analyst desk, a lot of cheers going towards DRX, you know, this team that's been around for a long time, very dominant for a long time.
Yeah.
It does feel like kind of a change in the order at the top, and we'll have to wait and see if DRX can try to reclaim that spot. I think, you know, Genji, obviously, with the more significant results in recent times, obviously, but
क्या लगता है आज तुम्हारे हिसाब से कौन जीतना चाहिए
one against Genji as well. Will be interesting to see how it shakes up at the top of the tier list, where there is a big gap between these three teams. As I mentioned, PRX along with these two, and the rest of the, you know, Pacific here at VCT.
I mean,
पहला मैं बाइंड है
have that effect on teams
और जेंडी के
sometimes.
साथ DRX
First time that Genji beat DRX, that could be a bit of a
Baz with a raise
anything, but then if DRX
Marco,
beats them now, that's
as
gonna be a
usual,
whole different
Viper,
story. Agent
the
compositions,
Munchkin or
we'll
Charon
talk about
textured
this.
with the
It looks like nothing out of the ordinary.
raise Lakia with the
Just a little
sky
bit on Stacks.
And it's going to be pretty interesting to see him bringing out the KO. We also do have the Brimstone here, but it is bind, so definitely a map.
मैच
that I
बहुत
think
टक्कर
DRX
का होने वाला
comfortable on.
let's
We
see
saw
let's
some
go
mistakes
guys
before we got into this map, and
देखते हैं आज
Genji
कौन जीतता था मेरे को लग रहा है मैं ही जीतूंगा
fare too well, whereas DRX have enjoyed this map for a while.
देखते हैं आज कौन
and,
जीतता है बहुत
it is
भयानक होने वाला
interesting to
मैच
see if they can come out strong here on their first bind.
Yeah, and then the other thing also is just that battle of the rookies right now, right? Karen versus Bane, both on the Brimstone, but Karen so far has been the better performer, at least on this role, because he's very consistent on it. He's always sharp with the aim, able to frag out when he needs to. Meanwhile, Bane's still starting to, you know, kind of get comfortable and get adjusted to all these different roles that he plays sometimes.
Yeah, I think so far he has put on a good performance for being a rookie, but I think, you know, as time comes along, they will expect a bit more out of him if he wants to, you know, stick in the roster and really have a big impact on this team. As looks like we're almost ready to jump onto Bind here for this first
DRX,
What do you
Genji.
think, Quack? You think DRX is going to take his first one and then Genji sweep? You were a Genji predictor yourself, but Bind is kind of an interesting map. Or do Genji just come out here real strong?
You know, it is hard to say. I definitely am a Genji predictor, but for this map, it has to be intentional because this is not a very common or normal, usual map for DRX to pick. They did this with the intention of
क्या लगता है 1 भाई कौन जीतने वाला है?
you know, counter-stratting Genji. And that definitely is a result of that map
Le?
against PaperX. You know, Genji had such an abysmal first half against PaperX in that one. The 10-2
क्या लग रहा है
on
भाई?
the attacking side. Thankfully, Genji is starting on the defense today, so let's get ready to
बोलिएगा
rumble.
भाई.
Yeah, Genji, they were, I think it was 2 and 10 on attack.
लाकिया.
Against DRX, but again, it's a rough match. It's a strong team. It's not a, you know, maybe the
Okay.
map's not
Mako.
a huge part, but I think we're gonna figure it out pretty early on to see how this one does go, as we do see some pressure already headed towards A short here from DRX.
ठीक है.
Just an entire wall of
भाई.
smokes. It all disappears at the same
टेक्सचर
time.
को पता भी नहीं है कि 3
Trying to hang back.
इधर है यार.
Moment to explode.
ये क्या है? घुस गया टेक्सचर ने मारा.
Creep in towards Lamps. They
उसने
hop
उसको
on
मारा.
because of Stacks and Splash, but unfortunately
Okay.
it's not quite there.
अरे गू मत खा.
Some of them left undiscovered.
ले भाई गू खा लिया इसने.
And in an instant we're back to
कोई इशू नहीं है.
Yeah, pretty interesting.
Just
that,
2v1.
Meteor, he missed so many of those
क्या लगता है
shots.
कौन
It was
जीतने
really
वाला है?
close. Mako only got hit by
कोई
one
भी
and
इसे
it
फर्क
was
नहीं
like,
पता
but
क्योंकि असली जीत तो मेरी होने वाली है.
the spike and get that planted as well. And now he's got a pretty
देखते
good position here in showers just to wait.
इसके बाद ये वाला घोस्ट का स्किन है.
got no utility.
Okay.
Couple of shots and he could be dead, so he has to
Okay.
be careful
Mako
with
ने
this
एक
one.
और Mako with 35 HP.
Munchkin down to 20.
Munchkin भी लो है. Mako now 25 HP vulnerable.
Pushes him back. He has to sneak out.
बाप रे
And he
भाई सही
swings
खेला यार.
with a bat.
मेरे में इतना हिम्मत नहीं है भाई.
Down to the cage.
मैं ज़्यादा मर जाता यार अभी
Spinning
तक.
the pistol.
Still good one
I
यार.
mean, that was just insane.
DRX
from the side of
1,
Mako. He's able to
Genji
clutch
0.
just barely
कोई इशू नहीं है.
the last one in, right? But he does go ahead
Okay.
and just barely win this one. He's able to swap over the ghost and then just essentially wins 3 1v1s in a
Okay.
row to clutch the round, right? So
Good
it felt
clutch.
like, you know, he was doing a great job, but also Genji not really
We
getting
were
the
साथ
shots.
में
He was
fight
so
क्यों नहीं
low,
ले रहे?
like just one good shot
Especially-
would get the job done, but I mean, you're not going to be able to do much on the last 1v1, but the first couple, I feel like Genji should have been able to put the nail in the coffin.
वो
But
जल्दी जल्दी अल्टीमेट चाहता है इसीलिए उसने वो ले लिया. ऑर्ब ले लिया. अल्टीमेट ऑर्ब.
basic boots on today. I'm not sure.
ठीक है.
It is Mako
अभी
after all.
उन लोगों का बाय है DRX का. डायरेक्ट वैंडल बाय करते
Then
हुए.
again, I am thinking about Stacks right now. Last
Okay.
week, when they did play on this map against T1, DRX went with the Sky composition, now swapping over onto
ठीक है.
the KO. Something that, you know, slightly, maybe a little bit more meta with the Sky nerf.
लाकिया with the classic.
While Genji sticking on towards Sky. I wonder if he has like some specific lineups or specific ways to make use of his flash drive just to enable Buzz.
हेलो सुन पा रहा?
Got two grain the pistol.
Oh boy.
This time, slightly foiled.
Okay, right gun buddy.
Sneaking outside of hookah.
मान में right gun buddy.
This means that DRX should be able to get this plant regardless. Note that it was 3 big rifle purchases from the side of DRX and 2 guys sitting on the pistols.
Right gun buddy
Kind of
for
a
the win,
fair
guys.
fight in that sense to start off, but now
Oh,
Buzz has amazing.
ठीक है.
Gonna take one down.
That opens up new avenues of entry.
Not a big issue.
Decides to push back, continue
Okay.
balls, but instead it's just
One
Green
more.
Stacks, as well as Mako holding clean from Octagon. He
ठीक
only
है.
has
Not a big
Munchkin
issue.
left, and he knows
Munchkin.
he can't do much.
He's
10
cackling
HP.
It's like, what do I do, guys?
on the player cam. He's like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna die to this spike here, as you do. And keep in mind that, you know, even though Bane went down with the rifle, Stacks is able to get on in there, pick it up, and so now they're gonna have 3
Munchkin मिल गया. 2-0 score.
this third round.
पिस्टल मतलब बोनस राउंड या बाय राउंड जो भी बोलो जीतते हुए
Should have the money here to
not a
pay
big deal,
a couple more as well. So
not a
generally,
big deal,
you know, you'd come into this round. and it
big
would
deal
be
नहीं लगा अभी तक.
pretty advantageous for Gen G. But
बस
they're
ने वो
just trying to
पीछे
match
जाके जो मारा सही है
firepower.
यार.
There's also
Marco?
a question- Yeah, exactly. They're going
ठीक
to
है.
buy back up just to match that, which means DRX does have a chance at converting this into a bonus. And if they do, that would be the perfect start. Against
Lineup,
Gen G on
side का
their
lineup.
birthday.
ठीक है
Especially because, as we saw, Gen G not very
यार
well
ये सब
versed,
सीखना
in the
पड़ेगा यार.
attack
हर एक
side of
एजेंट
this one,
सीखना
so
बनता
maybe
है.
if DRX get
To be
a
honest.
very nice first half start and then they go to
सब लाइनअप
defense,
सीखना पड़ेगा
might
यार.
just be lights out quickly on the first map. But you can never
Ah,
really
यार
count
आज
on
राइट गन
chances.
बड़ी for the win.
Still very early on in this one. We'll have
इसके
to
बाद राइट गन बड़ी है.
readjust.
राइट गन बड़ी gives you aimbot.
Definitely
ये पता है यार सबको यार. और guys chat में बने रहो.
the pacing of the match. Earlier on pistol, it was
ठीक है.
a slow creep up into her
टेक्सचर
aim.
हुक्का पिक करते हुए
Gen G
था.
weren't expecting it, at least
One of the best recon phantom. दोनों के पास recon phantom है.
second round, it
Still
was
जिसके पास राइट गन बड़ी है
this time
वो aimbot है.
DRX maybe slightly holding some defaults, but they're tossing a bit of utility into the
ये
B side.
lineup
It's
देखो यार.
keeping Gen G on their toes.
ये सब चीजें सीखना पड़ेगा. अगर प्रॉपर वाइपर वगैरह सीखना है तो लाइनअप वगैरह सीखना बनता है.
Just fine. 3 people on A.
सीखना पड़ेगा लाइनअप यार. इसको देखो इधर इधर इसको विशन ब्लॉक कर दिया सामने.
Up the members of Gen G.
ओके ऊपर एक नेट मारा. इसने भी नेट मारा. ग्रेनेड.
Just great timing.
भाई ये
from Gen G
44
as
HP
well.
है. बस.
You're right. They had 3 people,
Okay,
and they had the
Meteor.
right sensing as well. Knowing that DRX might have
अरे मार.
they tossed the nades at the right time, but as DRX
Yeah, man.
continues to push through and execute, they managed to take down
Ooh,
Gen G.
lucky.
Get the surprising peak.
भाई अच्छा मारा रे.
Bit of a double.
2v1.
Might have been fought for a second. Karen's
अरे ओ.
player. They have no idea that he's up here.
Oh, that's such unfortunate timing for
अरे क्या देख लिया?
Just a free kill on the Foxy 9 to make it a 1v1 versus a weakened Buzz. He's still going to throw down the volley, and he will.
अरे मौली में मर गया. चल गया मौली में लिया भाई.
That corner.
Down to the last bit. Oh, Buzz had no idea where
How?
he was, and once again, the rookie proves, yeah, he's no longer a rookie. It's time we shed that time.
भाई उसने मौली में जला के उसको मार दिया. सही मौली. भाई क्या मौली किया रे?
And timing to catch onto the last suspecting player of DRX.
बस. हेलो हेलो साउंड नहीं आ रहा क्या?
All 3 members of Gen G were just right on top of
अरे साउंड नहीं आ रहा क्या?
right in front of showers here, so they were kind of stacked, but DRX did not expect Lucky to just full-on peek out of the smoke, picks up 2, makes it close, and gives Karen a chance to essentially just clutch it
No.
1v2 with a nice angle up in heaven, so.
And that's such a smart move from Gen G as well. I feel like Lakia
तेरा voice क्यों glitch हो रहा है?
inside that smoke was something that DRX did not expect whatsoever, Valdez. Because
तेरा voice कट रहा है भाई.
DRX, you're thinking, yeah, that's
कोई और VC में ड्रैग कर.
two setup. 3 people on A.
हाँ तेरा voice glitch हो रहा है.
Still
मतलब
rotating over. They
वो
did
रहा है.
not expect that move whatsoever. However, they did lose a lot of rifles in that process, so Gen G is going to be
Hello,
playing this
Oki.
round with 3 upgraded.
कोई और VC में एक काम कर. कोई और VC में ड्रैग कर दो ना प्राइवेट में.
The ghost counts.
प्राइवेट नहीं
किलो-
मैं करता हूँ.
Not quite a sheriff, but at least they bought something. Foxy 9 just hanging out here.
Okay, Foxy 9.
Hit that shot, and Meteor actually gets some damage down and stays at full health.
Still Gen G. Always deadly and lethal, even on the Thrifty. Both Cyphers playing with their cameras, but for now, Gen G has gotten the hint that it is an A hit. Neural Theft has been tossed out, and DRX make the call to go through the teleporter. Texture
God.
to catch them through market though, because they pushed out. Great
Okay.
movements, and all of a sudden DRX
Proper nade utility uses. इसको बोलते हैं.
this one, another move through the teleporter. He hops over, safe
इसके
inside
बाद
of
सरी पे.
Hookah. Mako has the positioning, but needs to push off some of the Gen G players as they try
Okay.
to continue to apply pressure.
It's getting pretty interesting. We do have the pit here.
Welcome to my
We
world.
see a couple of guys upgraded to the rifles on the side of Gen G. And now Mako thinking about getting out of this pit and looking for a pick on a Meteor. He is out. They did not expect him, but Meteor's still doing a pretty good job and will take the headshot.
भाई सिस्टम हो गया इसके साथ.
As it goes down to Stacks, I mean,
Hey?
completely surrounded. He heard the defuse, so he started to, get a little bit jittery, but
जी एक और राउंड इसके साथ जीतते हुए
Mako definitely tried in that instance.
यार
But sometimes
ये हमेशा कॉम्पी में भी होता है यार 2-2 स्कोर ये होता ही है भाई पहले 2 राउंड जीते फिर गन आया भाई फिर कम बैक करते हुए
Interesting from DRX. They used a lot of utility early on. They felt like, okay, we have the advantage in terms of firepower. We should be able to take this one. But so many 1v1s actually just went the way of Chimpi and Texture.
Wingman for the win.
Meteor, and slowly, one by one, the dominoes fell.
Okay. ये वाला सेटअप भाई मेरा सेटअप
Yeah, it really
ये मेरा
tells
सेटअप
you
है
that Genji, even with the pistols, they are actually
भाई इन्होंने मेरा सेटअप
starting
लगाया
to
ये
take
सैचल ना
control
कर
of this
सके
match right now. Very intentional moves to take control over market. Onto the next round, and this time it's going to be DRX with a slow,
अरे
slightly lesser buy.
नीचे वाला
but
ट्रैप
he
तो
got the
दिया
stinger, and they've rushed in. They haven't
Okay.
found any contact though.
बाकी
Genji
लेके
making sure to keep their distance.
चल उसको पता कि एक शावर में तो अभी भी बैठा है
Lens is going to come down. The cage
उसको
falls
डाउन
as
करते हुए
well. They are going to wait on that one.
यार
Quick headshot from the Sheriff here from Foxy9, who's getting a bit of revenge
Foxy9?
for what happened last round in Showers.
No spike plant yet though, Valdez. Because look at Lakia. He's able to watch these angles, trying to flick back and forth. DRX trying to keep
ठीक है
him on his
2v2
toes.
2v3
Peeking
सॉरी
left, right at the same time. Got the Seekers deployed though. Karen is here and ready to frag out. He's got the Molly. He's gonna deploy it just to hold off Showers for the time being. Lakia goes in to investigate. Mako swings through the poison cloud. Lakia able to flick back onto him, keeps himself alive for just one more second. By firing off those shots, he gave away his position. Foxy knew exactly where to peek.
That's just kind of ridiculous that Mako's able to just sneak on through the smoke with a classic and just get the drop on the guy and take him down. Mako has been so slippery and sneaky this entire map so far and is going to pick up his 8th kill in that one. This shot from Foxy9 plus the ult really gave his team a chance, I think, in this one. And from on top of the box is able to lock it down. I didn't catch what he said, but the audience really liked that one.
I mean, I feel like it might have
Okay.
something to do with that Sheriff kill, and you're absolutely right. It gives DRX like even odds in terms of numbers and firepower. But Mako doing that move through the smoke, same thing that Lakia did. Both teams fairly evenly matched. Just when you think Genji has taken control, DRX takes it right back. Texture now trying to hold the off angle. Bait swings, takes him down. It's going to be a bit of a pop flash, but look at Foxy9 playing through his cyber cages, trying to retain control of the towers.
क्या मारा रे
Stacks comes in to take control over the
भाई
site, and the spike has been planted.
भाई क्या एम है भाई इनका मेरे पास इनका जैसा एम क्यों नहीं है भाई
Paper then talking about kind of the emotional edge, that emotional feeling coming into the match. I feel like TRX are playing with such flair so far, such fire in their gameplay. Foxy9 is like, I will hold the showers. Nobody else will challenge me in here. And he's just hitting some ridiculous shots. They plan on A again. This time it's an easy cleanup. 4 people stay alive. Not very close this time around. But it looks like perhaps we might get a buy out of Genji this time. As yeah, it was pretty. This play from Foxy9 was really the highlight of this round for me.
Certainly. I mean, he's done a phenomenal job at controlling Shower so far. The way that he's making use of his utility, the way that he's keeping the attention away from some of these Genji players. That was a
Genji का टाइम आउट लेते हुए
DRX's game plan went perfect. They kind of anticipated where some of the Genji players would
ये मैं भी टाइम आउट लेके आता हूँ गाइस जेंजी का मेरे को कॉल आया मैं भी टाइम आउट लेके आता हूँ
Everyone had the right entries, the right trades, the right protocols. Foxy staying alive inside of Showers as well.
Yeah, pretty insane stuff. Pretty early timeout call as well from the side of Genji, but I would assume that Solo's like, well, this isn't exactly what we prepared. So let's take a little breather. We were a lot better on defense last time we played on this map. Let's try to figure this out and see what's going wrong. Why we can't really hold this big pressure from the side of DRX. And DRX are coming at them pretty fast. I think that DRX are getting a pretty good read on the tempo of the map so far, and just getting in their faces, holding down Showers. Foxy9's doing a great job there, as we've mentioned many times, but also the entries have been very clean through short as well, and Genji have just kind of, you know, fallen apart and just let it happen so far, essentially. So I think as a coach, you want to take a bit of time to discuss and maybe try to readjust, because so far the defense has not looked great for Genji.
Yeah, definitely wanting to feel a bit more active with their movements on this defensive side. You don't want to stay too passive. You don't want to play into your opponent's game. And that's, I feel like, something that happened with that Genji match finals against Sentinels as well in Madrid. So definitely wanting to take matters into their own hands right now. You can see that they've adjusted into hookah control, a bit of an off angle, a bit of a crossfire being set up. Texture's contact through the garden is crucial here, though. I think he's gotten the information.
I feel like they have a pretty good read on this push coming in.
Oh, he's got Showstopper as well.
Uh-oh. Are they just going to walk into
Toss
this?
running through. DRX is prepared. Buzz with a buzzsaw just cuts them in half. Foxy9 and Mako able to trade. Meteor with nothing but a Guardian. Just tries to
Mara.
a couple of rounds, but Mako ends his life. It's going to be DRX with yet another round on the board.
Yeah, 2 people stay alive as well. Their economy is very healthy. It wasn't a buy round from Genji, so I like how they kind of, as you mentioned, were active. They got aggressive. They tried to peek on in there. They got a bit of value. They didn't win the round, of course.
देखते हैं यार ये क्या कर पाता है.
They took some guns out of the hands of DRX, and at the end of the day, they just couldn't quite check every single corner in the garden. And so,
भाई setup देखो इसका यार.
DRX. Let's see how this
हमें तो setup ही नहीं लगा था यार, to be honest.
Available here for the side of Genji.
And that's what this timeout was for. We've got texture on the operator.
लॉन्ग वाला चीज उन्होंने ब्लॉक किया तो उनको पीछे जाना पड़ा. ठीक है. ये उनका ये साइपर लर्ट पे आजकल बस साइपर है. वो पीछे से देख उधर जा रहा है. एक उधर वो जा रहा है. सही है.
If he's able to get an opening pick, hang back, come back in with the showstopper. A lot of options that Genji can utilize in this round.
Yeah, they definitely can. DRX, finally, it feels like taking their foot off the gas pedal just a little bit.
शावर जा रहा है.
Although, that hasn't necessarily worked out for them.
Literally,
I feel like
उठा लिया कैमरा ने.
a lot of utility tried to fake Genji out and then kind of just were a little bit slower than the pace that has been working. And it didn't quite work out in that round.
Texture with the operator.
Already the rotation coming out of Genji.
Yeah, having pushed out, Karen sees everything. Here comes the execute from DRX. Showstopper for Showstopper.
Oh!
Connects. Buzz blows up. And Genji puts up a wall against
बॉल इधर बाज वो खाता हुआ है.
pit deployed from Munchkin that keeps them in the game. Look at how it covers just around the edge of Showers. Invites Foxy9 along with Mako inside of it though. But as he peeks out, Texture is right on the other side of the door, says hello. Mako down to 1 HP. He drops the pit. Mako having to clutch this out, but the round's already gone. He just wants to keep his rifle or do as much damage as possible. Able
Nice
to
try.
first. But then here
ये
comes
legend को मार दिया रे उसके उसने.
operator again.
चलो उसने legend को मार दिया.
That time around, looks like you know, the pop flash out of short was very nice. Actually gave them entry in onto the site, but eventually Genji able to hold on to get the pit down, and of course the showstopper for Showstopper going the way of Genji absolutely helped. Lakia got this.
Right?
The angle out of Labs, that is going to... Doesn't require much of an explanation.
That's
DRX time
I
out.
love it, dude. Like, both teams laughing heartily on the stage. You can tell that this
Okay, coaches बोल रहा है भाई देख भाई तेरे को ऐसे खेलना है.
तू
ये गलती कर रहा है भाई. तेरे से नहीं हो रहा है. तू नूब है.
But at the same time, they're old teammates. They know each other.
देख भाई नूब तक तो मत कर. मेरा नाम गवा मत.
You can tell.
ये वही बोल रहा है.
Now I guess Termy's just going to say, well, we've had a couple of rounds that looked a little bit like this one, and I don't want to really see that. Just stick to what has been working, and that has been just pretty straightforward play, straightforward rushes onto the A site. Don't get too tricky, don't get too fancy with your play, and I think that should work out for you. That's my read at least, but let's see if DRX stick to the aggression.
Yeah, I feel like you're onto something as well, Valdez. Because in that previous round, Buzz used the showstopper. They tried to go in with some kind of a tricky execute, playing off of timing and all that, cutting noise. but Gen.G anticipated it. Gen.G's time
Basic setup लगा रहा है.
solo before definitely set them up for that specific trap. That's why Texture was able to secure the showstopper kill. That's why Lakia had the positioning to go in for that spray transfer. This time, DRX has to deal against Texture's
We got
operator.
textures, operator.
So let's see what term he has in store for us.
Lucky as well, he was able to get in there and get
Texture is holding the operator at hookah.
opportunistic orb. That does give him the Seekers for a potential retake situation.
Having the operator.
DRX are going to commit onto this B site.
Cypher बनने वाला.
Absolutely right.
Toxin9,
It is
careful
near
buddy.
South Q as well. DRX are thinking, where could Texture's operator be? We do not want to lose an early teammate to this boomstick. But so far, they haven't seen it yet. They know he's not holding the angle on site. Those nades have just been tossed out, so definitely the call that Texture's inside of hookah.
Yeah, there's just so much smoke in his face. I don't envy his position right now. And Lakia, the first one to go down. And Texture, we saw the flick from the opposite angle. He's going to hit it. Kind of insane
क्या
stuff.
ही मारा
How
है.
he managed that, but now he's going to switch on over to the Vandal. And Munchkin also picks up a kill.
Spike has been planted after all, but Munchkin getting that kill, you're right, Valdez, does give Gen.G a bit more numbers advantage. They've managed to make their way onto site, but they haven't spotted out the stacks just yet. A bit of a spray transfer, but just the dink, not the kill. It's gonna be Buzz and Bane holding from back sides. Inside of hookah, inside of garden, they managed to get their own. DRX still on top of things with the post-plant scenario.
Yeah, it was a 4v3 in favor of Gen.G in that post-plant scenario, but the four of them just understanding where DRX were, and they try to push on towards them. As, look at this, Stacks is fantastic.
Oh,
yeah, he doesn't hit the second shot, but he distracts everybody. And eventually Buzz and Bane clean it
Hey,
up.
क्या मार रहा है?
Just a little chuckle there from Buzzman.
3-6 score right now.
Giggles we've seen from the other players.
I love it. It's one of those like, I'm better.
Yeah.
They do have double Gen.G's scoreline right now, and if this continues, we saw Gen.G's attacking half last week or a couple weeks ago. It wasn't great. So DRX having a good time. They just continue to pile drive through the smokes.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're just hoping that when that orb drops, there's not 4 people in your face. He didn't get like, oh God!
Curran, what the hell was that?
Nasty! That was disgusting.
This guy, his wrist, his hand is an extension of his aim, and in the way that he just, like, in the zone, doesn't even think about it, just flicks onto his head. Now hangs back and sets up the orbital strike if DRX continues to push through. And this is why Gen.G's always deadly, even when they don't have the best eyes.
या अल्ट लेकर के तो रेडी है कि अगर आएगा तो अल्ट करेगा.
Where there might not normally be value.
अकेला बी पे होल्ड कर रहा है उनका साइफर.
Let's see how this push is.
साइफर बस उधर अकेला है.
Onto this B site.
बाकी तीनों बी पे.
It's a death trap. Gen.G just executes.
Hi.
Here comes the gigantic laser from up above, but Foxy9 barrels through. With nothing but a
Last
Vandal,
standing,
continues to
Meteor.
push up. Down to the 2-on-1 against Meteor. Meteor does have his Marshall, and he is known for his flicky aim with that. But how can you shoot what you can't see? Lots of rifles on the ground, though.
So he'll pick up a Vandal, and I think it gives him a chance, but 2v1 with a pit up, this is so desperate for Meteor.
His health trickles away, has to step back out.
Oh, and Foxy9.
Right underneath Foxy's nose.
He's got the position. There's just not really enough time.
Oh, man. He backs out of the pit. Unfortunately, kind of at the wrong time.
टाइमिंग हो गया. कोई ना. नाइस ट्राई होते हुए.
See him around.
DRX.
Either inside or away from the site.
नाइस ट्राई होते हुए. कोई इशू नहीं है गाइस. मकसद नहीं भूलना है. मकसद नहीं भूलना हमको. कोई ना. हमारा मकसद है जीतना. मेरा मकसद है जीतना. इनका पता नहीं क्या. मेरा मकसद एक ही है. मैं मैच जीतूंगा और कुछ कोई नहीं जीतेगा भाई.
Yes, they did have to commit the pit, but I mean, already getting 7 rounds here on attack. of Bind. You got to be feeling pretty good about your position in this map already for DRX.
Oh, pretty damn good. 7-3. Now Genji buys back up. If they don't take this round, I could see this going 9-3, you know? It's a little bit crucial for Genji to pick up these rounds right now. They start to move out. They start to get more, retrieve more information with Lakia holding just right outside Octagon. DRX not giving away too much.
Yeah, DRX waiting on this one once again. It does look like Mako's going to hold down in hookah for a little bit, but the rest of the team is definitely...
भाई अच्छा डॉग उठाया भाई लाकिया ने.
See that Trailblazer gives some information, but that peek from Munchkin is going to give even more spots, at least 3 people over there. Heading on.
फिर क्या करने जा रहा है?
There's a big rotation coming in here from Texture and his buddy. Trying to get the jump here on Mako.
माको को मारेगा रे.
Able to catch him. That's half your
माको
smoke
को डाउन
gone.
कर दिया.
At the same time, so much information as to what DRX's game plan
Munchkin
is.
down.
Munchkin not quite able to get the heads-up duel against Foxy9. He is
Okay.
He's been doing this all day around showers.
3 versus 4.
Playing outside of the smokes, but the plant has gone down. Now look at DRX's positioning. You've got Bane who's backed up because he's got all the utility, the ultimate as well, but he doesn't even need it. Stacks.
I
going in
saw
for the
3
double
versus
kill
2.
inside of
3
Lamps.
versus 3
Yeah,
versus
it really
2.
felt like they had to clear the lamps out, but
Mara
it
wo.
ends up backfiring because Stax is just so clean with it today as well. And he
ले भाई
is super
system.
clean like that, and the rest of the team is
3-8
as
का
well.
स्कोर होते
DRX
हुए
is not going to be stopped. 8-3 right now, and Stax picks up a 3K in lamps just by himself.
क्या not a big deal.
Hat trick to secure the round. I'm not too sure about the orbital strike being invested, but sure, why not? Let's secure the round just so that we can make sure that we have at least an 8-4, if not a 9-3. And that is why this map pick was so intentional against Genji.
Yeah, it definitely was. Stax is like, this is my zone, bro. Like, you don't come into the Stax zone and take down Stax, who's named after me. And, well, he's doing a great job. He hasn't necessarily been the top fragger, but he's showing up when they need him most.
Starting to climb up for sure. Right up next to Foxy.
देखता है क्या सीन रहता है.
Back into it, Genji.
क्या ये 3-9 होता है कि 3-8 का स्कोर जाता है? क्या लगता है गाइस?
Executes along with the
मेरा
ball
फील
command.
आ रहा है 3-9.
Gets positioning, stays hidden inside of smoke, peeks out at the right time.
Okay.
And comes back in as well. Texture
3,
now inside of the
2.
team, swings out, takes down Bane. DRX is
टैक्स पर रिवाइव नहीं मिलेगा लगता है.
spoiled. It's all
3
down to Foxy.
4-8 का स्कोर होते हुए.
Tries to hop on over, but because of the smoke deployed right in his face, he's not able to peek out of hookah. If he doubles back, he's gonna have to consider if someone might have pushed down B long. So firing off a couple of warning shots, he tries to bait out further information. But Genji's not giving anything up.
30 seconds left.
Spots a hat. Oh, and the showstopper doesn't connect. Just a bit of splash damage, and Foxy9 tries to take the initiative, but way too many players. Genji closes out the first half, 4-8.
It's kind of insane that he even got the 1 kill there in the 1v3 with 28 health, but yeah, at the end of the day, it didn't look very likely, and Genji did a nice job of stopping that aggression on the last round, at least, because the rest of the map, the rest of the half, not very good for them. DRX definitely in control, I would say, of the tempo, and it feels like everybody's really on point. It's like everybody's had a big round. Outside of like maybe Bane, but everybody else is stepping up to the plate, like Mako early on, and then obviously Foxy9 and Stax, and even Buzz had that 1 round, right, where they're just popping off, getting 2Ks, 3Ks, but the execution was really the big thing. As a team, DRX just feel like they're a lot more comfortable on this map so far.
Definitely right. I mean, that's what DRX does. If you give them the space and the time to set up, you have to anticipate and you have to work against their execute. It's just gonna be a flurry of utilities shoving down your face, and it keeps happening. Genji didn't really do all that much against them. I mean, I think they started to try towards the end of the half, but you know, it didn't really work out too well, especially from, you know, rounds 5 to 7, 9 to 11. That's just what it is. Yeah. So on to this next half now. Gen.G on the attack. Again, they didn't have the best time against Paper X.
Yeah, they only took 2 rounds, and they started off on attack in that match. So it went 2 and 10, and then eventually PRX did take the win, obviously. But yeah, hoping that, you know, maybe they learned a lot from that match, and they can
Not
say,
a
okay,
big
this
deal.
is how we've readjusted.
Telling you guys,
see
not a
what they bring
big
to the
deal.
table this time around, and not just say that it'll definitely be DRX's. And it's going to start from this pistol round. DRX pushing out of showers, just trying to clear it out. Looks like they got the camera, but that's about it for now.
Oh, yeah. Nothing doing. Gen.G's hanging back. You know why? Because Paper X pushes out on defense.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea, I think, to wait, you know, 10, 15 seconds.
Now we're hearing a little bit more utility from both sides. Texture's nade will catch Bane.
Here.
It's a bit of a lineup into the corner. I think Bane had no idea that there were explosives raining from above. Now it's going to be a bit of a teleporter play as DRX senses the rotations from Gen.G, but Texture holds back. Mako able to trade back.
1v3.
It's going to be a 2-on-3 in this.
Very dangerous case.
Still a chance for DRX. Let's see if they can get on in here, but the angle from Meteor is too good. And he'll take down both as well. Just flips to 180, takes out Mako as well, and gets revenge for the first half. It's going to be a good start here for Gen.G on the attack.
Starting to heat up.
Gen.G on the attack.
I mean, I got to see it. Yeah, that's the lineup. There we go. Along with the Trailblazer as well, so he just could not escape. And then the rotational played. I mean, this is just a masterclass at how you want to work the map bind. So definitely reworking a lot of strategies on their bind this time.
Yeah, definitely looks a bit better so far. As okay, we'll just mow them down with a Bulldog. Why not? DRX trying to challenge out here on long, but did not go well for them.
That's a big chunk out of DRX, but look at Bane trying to sneak in for some of these classic right clicks. Perhaps does not anticipate Texture on his side. The rest of DRX now just continuing to walk through. Unfortunately, this is not a great thing because it's free ult points for Gen.G. Every kill that they get, they're working towards their ultimate. Texture and Locky are halfway to theirs now. And there's still a full minute, maybe a minute and 30, 40 seconds if they get the spike down. Oh, we've spotted Mako. Locky is like, okay, he's not an A. Let's go in for the plant.
Okay, हम लोग का थोड़ा बहुत बाकी है.
Yeah, and Mako.
एक ही बचा है. Mako को मार देगा.
Easy spot to get hunted down. He's at the moment just charging onto the
Nice
side.
try. Not a big deal.
Try to die to the spike. He'll just go in and
4, 6, 8. क्या ये guys comeback होने वाला है?
Word could we possibly say?
मेरे को तो feel आ रहा है. Feel.
It's a flawless round from Gen.G, so nice amount of ult charge built up.
वन भाई क्या लगता है क्या जीतने वाला है?
But I think that Gen.G are going to take this one a bit slower.
Okay.
Just try to be very careful about how they approach this, because they want to continue with this lead that they have. They
8 का स्कोर बनते हुए.
any freebies
अभी
over the
फुल
side
फोकस
of
करके
DRX.
देखना पड़ेगा कि कौन जीतेगा. मैं मस्त चिल मार के बैठा हूँ.
Already through showers on the side of Gen.G, and a push on an A seems likely at this point.
Certainly,
Okay.
DRX trying to hang
Mako
back
मस्त
as
एंगल
well.
लेके
So
बैठा
they're
है.
playing pretty reactive right now,
Two
but
showers.
apparently he's trying to tickle down
अबे
Gen.G as they try to push out, but Mako receives
Careful,
first
man.
contact.
Okay.
Foxy able to use the
3
angle to
versus
get one onto
4
Meteor, but
versus 2.
instantly traded. Bane tries to push out. Nope.
ठीक है.
Denied. This
What a
retake
big deal.
has been completely shut down by Gen G.
Yeah, they're just running around over on B, trying to save the 2 rifles that they have. And this is the best position for Gen G that they could have outside of just wiping DRX entirely. You're going to get a bonus round. You're going to take 3 rifles away from the side of DRX. You're just going to build up so
not a
much
big issue.
momentum as the push on A was just way too clean. And they look much better here on the attacker side against DRX compared to how they looked against PaperX. Maybe DRX might want to take some kind of time out and rethink how they are playing this defensive side if things continue to go in this direction.
Oh yeah, they just might have to.
चिंपी भाई मजा आ रहा है.
Talking about
मजा
Chimpi's
बहुत
position,
भयंकर आ रहा है.
they've got the showstopper now. They've got a lot of
सुन
money.
पा रहे हो?
They've taken 3 rifles away
मजा
from
बहुत
DRX.
ज्यादा भयंकर आ रहा है.
This
आपके पास ऐसी क्यों आ रही है? आप रेडियो में बात कर रहे हो.
क्या बोल रहे हो?
आपके पास ऐसी क्यों आ रही है कि आप रेडियो से बात कर रहे हो?
क्योंकि मैं रेडियो से ही बात कर रहा. Very serious match.
As we go in the second half,
भाई मैं तो कह रहा हूँ चिंपी भाई आप इसको भी शॉर्ट स्ट्रीम कर लो.
Meteor and texture starting to pop off now. How are you feeling about your prediction?
देखो अभी आवाज सही आ रही है?
It's still early times, you know. It could
Hello?
go all the way to 3 maps. I think
अभी आवाज सही आ रही है?
हाँ हाँ. मैं कह रहा हूँ आप इसको भी शॉर्ट स्ट्रीम कर सकते हो.
इसको भी शॉर्ट स्ट्रीम कर लो.
हाँ वही ना. इसमें तो व्यूज भी आए क्योंकि इंग्लिश से बातें हो रही है पीछे.
पहले रुक जाओ. पहले क्या सीन है? पहले आज सिलेक्ट हो जाओ उसमें, फिर शॉर्ट स्ट्रीम कर लो. किंग ऑफ गेम्स, हेलो भाई. हेलो किंग ऑफ गेम्स भाई, क्या हाल है भाई? बताओ यार. भाई बहुत सीरियस मैच चल रहा है, पता है? वो बहुत ज्यादा सीरियस मैच चल रहा है. मस्त आवाज है. मैप बहुत बिल्कुल बहुत सही, बहुत मस्त.
He spots and shuts texture down mid-flight.
Yeah. It's kind of insane, like,
what?
मर गया. टेस्टर को निकाला और इधर फॉक्सी 9 को निकाल लिया गया है.
Through showers, but Meteor off of timing, able to catch him down as well.
ये मान भाई आपने पार्टिसिपेट किया?
Nonetheless,
ओ मान भाई
throwing jabs at each other.
पार्टिसिपेट किया उसमें?
Rotation from
जो है.
Genji all the way over onto the B side.
लेकिन आप तो चिल हो. मैच से क्या होता है? मैच चिल मार रहा हूँ, वही मैच से बहुत चिल मार रहा हूँ. मैच देखते हैं बहुत सीरियस मैच है. स्टिल मैं चिल ही मार रहा हूँ और चिल मार के मैच ही देख रहा हूँ. बस ये सीरियसनेस इस मैच के अंदर चल रहा है कि क्या कौन जीता, क्या जेनजी जीतेगी, क्या डीआरएक्स जीतेगी. ये ले मर गया. अभी 1 versus 2. फालतू में साजल करके मर चुका है भाई वो. Okay.
He had his hand on his forehead. He was not happy with that.
That's a whoopsie.
Maybe not expecting 2 people to be coming in
ठीक है.
from long, but he hit the first shot so well, but then he kind of dropped the rest of it. Now it's up to Mako in the clutch, but there's not enough time. Not a lot of time.
Down to about
Okay.
2 seconds. He's gotten dinked as
Mako
well.
is low.
Started off with like full health. Now
Mako 3 HP.
little burst onto Lakia. Oh,
Mako?
shot onto Munchkin. But unfortunately, no time because Genji has played their advantage too.
भाई इसने 3 HP पे 2 मार दिया.
8 to 8.
भाई इसने 3 HP पे 2 मार दिया. सही है भाई.
Including the last round of the first half. So yeah, they look
God.
strong. This first shot was from Buzz was insane. Bit of a tongue
लगा
twister
अकेला
there.
मैं ही
But,
हूँ
kinda
यार.
dropped the end of the round, and then it was up to Mako to try to clutch it out. And yeah, he's like, that's a shame. Got pretty close, and it's going to be a DRX timeout after that one. As we were talking about, I was kind of surprised they didn't do it in the last one, but maybe they want to wait until everybody can buy up and they have a chance here because it is their final timeout.
Yeah, they're going to have to make full, purposeful use of this one. But for now, I mean, you can see that DRX still has a lot of fight left in them. It's like a very intentional way to position himself, the thing that Buzz did, because knowing that Texture had his showstopper, he's very likely to execute. And I think that's the entire game plan for DRX right now. They're trying to get a read on how Genji wants to approach the map. So far, they've been doing a good job rotating over at the right time. It's just that sometimes in the retakes, in the way that Stacks pop flashes through, Genji are able to make use of the map, make use of the terrain just to keep themselves covered away from that flash.
That has been pretty key from what we have seen so far.
भाई
Feels like
जीते
just looking at
कोई
the
फर्क नहीं
scorelines
पड़ता,
across
लेकिन
the
आज से
board,
जीत
like
मेरी
we've
होने
got
वाली है, क्योंकि
a
मेरी
bunch of
जीत
guys that are up
भी ले
officially.
जा
Feels
मेरा
like everybody's
घर,
pretty much
भी
pulling
ले
their
जा
weight.
मेरा
They're
गम,
doing anyone on zero
भी ले
kills
जा
or
मेरी
anything
घर,
like that.
भी ले जा
Everybody's kind
मेरी
of doing
हार,
their job. Nobody's
मेरी
too far
जीत
below
भी ले जा
1
मेरी
KD
हार,
scoreline.
भी ले जा
Exactly
मेरा
what you'd
गम।
expect so far. Yeah.
चिल मारो भाई, देखो चिल मार के देखते रहो भाई कौन जीतता है। असली जीत तो मेरी होने वाली है, देखो, क्योंकि मेरी जीत भी ले जा मेरी घर, भी ले जा मेरा गम, भी ले जा मेरा हार। चलो चलो चलो, कोई इशू नहीं है, कोई इशू नहीं है। गाना वाना कैसे भी गाएंगे, डजंट मैटर, क्योंकि सारे गाने मैंने लिखे हैं।
There is a bit of an alert as to where he could be positioned. Genji trying to play very safe, very defensive. They're approaching with caution.
ठीक है,
See the dart comes in.
what a big deal।
By the bundle.
ठीक है,
We do have a push that
come on,
coming in here. It is only
okay,
Knife comes down. That's
ठीक है, नेट मॉली किया,
to have his teammates start to rotate already.
ठीक है,
Only 30 seconds left. Looks like Genji will commit to this B site.
फायर,
Not the showstopper, but texture.
अरे ले भाई,
And that's gonna
ले भाई,
the angel with wings
ले भाई, 2 versus 5 right now the score is
on Genji's side. This is a perfect take because of a bit of a fumbled shot from Buzz.
Yeah, one fumbled shot, and also Texture getting in there and just taking him down before he could react afterwards. And the swarm just came in way too quickly, and that's the difference, you know, especially at the top level of Valorant. It's like you drop one shot, you're just a split second too late, and all of a sudden the enemy team has swarmed you on the site, and glad we get that on camera.
Because he used to play on DRX,
Yeah.
and oh my god. I can't believe
all
what
the
we're seeing
fans.
about this.
No chill from Lakia, although I didn't expect any chill from him. Well,
Okay, whoa. Yo, the crowd just went like, whoa.
the crowd was kind of shooting at everything, just seeing if he can catch anyone off, and Mako was like, okay, enough of that, sit down.
This is where I'm like a little bit envious of not being Korean, a little bit. Because I feel like there's like some bits of nuance between the two teams, you know? Like, is DRX like the biggest champion of Korea right now, and everyone still wants them back up?
full chill में guys, full chill, एकदम पूरा chill में मैच है,
This is now our time.
पूरा chill में guys,
is here to like, you know, throw some shade.
chill मारो guys,
Well, I
पूरा
think
chill मारो,
you don't have to be Korean to get that
you have
far,
to
right?
chill guys।
Kind of the obvious
9-8 का
storyline, I would
score,
say, so
लगता है
far.
जिंजी की जीत होने वाली है।
You know, if DRX
Feel
continues to
तो
surge
आ
and
रहा
continue to be
है।
the top team, they're probably going to continue
क्या लगता
to
है guys,
keep a really
बताओ
large
यार।
fan base, which will always threaten the other teams.
इसी के साथ साथ मेरे को इतना डर लग रहा है कि मेरे को सुसु आ चुका है गाइस, मैं सुसु करके आया फटाक से।
Sports, as Genji looking to get in onto the A site this time through short, but kind of have this choke point with 3 members of DRX waiting for this.
Good peek out from Mako. He slows them down with his snake bite. Stacks along with the fragment as well. It's a perfect combo to choke out Genji. Fortunately, a bit of lights out, even with a slightly lesser buy from DRX. There's a sheriff on Bane. They're able to stop Genji in their tracks. 2 players left, and they have to shoot their way out of this one. The spike down on the floor. Meteor starts things out perfectly, but Stacks strafes left and right. Yet another double kill to secure out the round.
Yeah, Stacks very clean on that one to make sure they can put the topper on the round. But yeah, as you mentioned, I mean, I think they were only sitting on the 2 Vandals they had saved from the last round, right? So not a lot of firepower, but just this initial peak from Mako is really what gives them the advantage. And I mean, you also get the nade down. It's pretty rough. They all just kind of walk over it. And Stacks just does a great job of holding down the choke point, so.
Yeah.
Kind of caught Genji with their pounds down before Genji could get the push started.
That's such a pretty strat. You got 3 grenades tossed right at the choke point.
Can't avoid them all.
Oh my goodness. Imagine if Genji just somehow went to the other side. Oh boy.
That is an option you have. Now they're gonna come on in here once again. Stacks on the site with Foxy9. He gets the angle. Oh, and him and Stacks are gonna shut this one down. Easy. DRX back in the lead.
Great calling, great anticipation from IGL Stacks as he reads their movements. Had the setup on A previously. This time anticipating that Genji, they're probably gonna go towards B. And they just have the right angles to get all of the information. This comes down again to just how well the players know each other and how they position themselves on the site. Foxy was not initially out in the open, but he swings out as he hears the back through. Yeah. With that, the triple kill that put himself back up on top. 19 kills and only 11 deaths.
Yeah, for Foxy, it's not even about, super crisp aim in that moment. It's about the timing, as you mentioned, and the positioning, right? They just did not expect someone to be at that corner. And he just gets so much value as they push in through Hookah. It felt a little bit rushed, but I think Genji were just trying to, up the tempo. But as you mentioned, I think DRX just read it. Stacks had the call.
Not a big issue, guys. Not a big issue.
And both Buzz and
easy, chill pill.
So ready for it. And
साइपर का सेटअप तो अच्छा, दोनों साइपर ही मस्त सेटअप लगा रहे, तो बढ़िया खेलना था, दोनों क्यों भी बहुत सही खेलते हैं, मतलब दोनों इनिशिएटर.
Definitely going to need to be used before the end of this match with how close this first map is.
ठीक है, not a big deal.
Are we ready for this one? But it's just so fun to watch because we started off this second half with Genji, like 5 rounds. We're back into it, and DRX are fighting back with all
मेरा setup OP.
Swings back out to trade. Now Genji has the site. You've got Buzz on an operator in a retake. It is tough days for DRX as they try to close out this map.
Cage triggered.
Genji, very nice spot here. This time the
entry. Mako 2 versus 3.
And I was gonna swap over to the Vandal for
now.
फेंक
दिया.
Has paint shells.
भाई ये लोग घूम के जा रहे हैं यार.
The Genji are behind them.
They're just gonna put up the pit. That defuse is going to be stopped here before the half. Oh, the spray is not hitting.
Karon though, Buzz! He's able to turn around. Trades up for Mako, and with the paint shells, puts Lakia away. If he gets the kill, he could stick the defuse, but Lakia's just toying with him. The ex-teammate comes.
नहीं यार, ये क्या है भाई?
Did not make the right move, removing me from DRX.
That was just crazy.
Nice try, yaar, buddy.
Like
not a big deal.
Behind that wall, I mean, they just could not lock
Still
him down.
not a big deal.
The fact that it got that close, though, I think
कोई इशू नहीं है guys.
Trying to hold the defuse, I think he just.
यही गलती हम करते हैं भाई, कॉम्प में यही गलती करते हैं. ला भाई लियो टेक्सचर का हो गया गलती.
Tripwire was very good to stop the initial engage, but
Meteor
actually got on the site, and then Locky is just playing.
इसने स्विंग किया और ये इसने मार दिया. इसलिए वो प्रीएम करना बनता है यार. प्रीएम इज इम्पोर्टेंट. उसने प्रीएम किया तभी वो मारा जाके. ये चीज समझना पड़ेगा. उसने प्रीएम किया इसलिए वो मार पाया. सही है, बहुत सही है, मैं बोल रहा हूँ. 10-10 का स्कोर होते हुए चलो देखते हैं. साइफर ने कैमरा यूज किया, लेकिन कैमरा पहले देखना था कि कोई है तो नहीं आसपास. ठीक है, उसने कैमरा डाल के वो पीछे आ रहा है. ये जिगल पिक ले रहा है बी लॉन्ग पे. 2 जना जेंजी के प्लेयर्स बी लॉन्ग. उस पे ऑपरेटर है. ठीक है, ये बच गया. दे विल रोटेट नाउ. उसको कॉल मिल गया कि भाई देख, इधर ऑपरेटर है और इधर हम चाहते हैं घुसने को, तो उधर एक तो रोटेट आएगा. तो ब्रीम उसके इसीलिए स्पॉन में गलती था. मैं कहीं पे भी स्मोक दे सकता हूँ, कहीं पे भी इमीडिएटली आ सकता हूँ. ठीक है, डिफेंस ब्रीम इसीलिए वो स्पॉन पे खेलते हैं. तो 2 साइड 2 ए 2 बी करके और ब्रीम को स्पॉन खिला था. वो खा जंप करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं थी. ठीक है, इस पे यूटिल डाल रहा है भाई. पीछे जा. अरे ले मर गया. Lakia
last-ditch effort from Lakia to go through the teleporter, and he has to get the
Buzz.
timing onto this, but he does not. Buzz anticipates and reads the movements perfectly. Times out his peak.
निकल गया
Lakia has no joy
नहीं
in
निकल
this
पाया
round whatsoever. Cannot
कोई इशू नहीं है
spike plant. And once again, the star
Two,
of DRX
नहीं
comes back down.
10-11 का स्कोर बनते हुए इसी के साथ देखो इनका गेम प्ले सही है भाई 2A 2 भी कर रखा ब्रिम को स्पॉन पे क्योंकि ब्रिम कहीं पे भी इमीडिएट स्मोक कर सकता है तो जहाँ पे भी इमीडिएट स्मोक हुआ उधर ब्रिम रोटेट करेगा ये सही चीज किया है पता है उन्होंने बहुत सही चीज किया है
So this is going to be the timeout called here from Genji, sitting at 11-10 in favor of DRX. So got to use it here before it does get too late.
Yeah, that wall was pretty unsettling, man. I gotta say, like just a few seconds of silence, and you're just like,
yeah,
that round just happened.
Not a big deal.
It was pretty intense, that one. I think that Genji kind of had their entry, but we're not expecting Bane to hold lamps as well as he did. Foxy, who has really been the MVP for me so far on this first map, hold it down once again with the 3K. Just getting division through the box the one time. A little bit of help from his teammates to secure a third kill.
Out लिया यार
and give them a chance to hold down the A site with I think
जिंजी ने टाइम आउट लिया कि 10-11 का स्कोर होते हुए इसीलिए गोस्ट पार्टी टाइम क्यों क्या हो गया गोस्ट ओए अरे मुशी क्या हो गया
even getting one map is going to feel good against Genji and it might just give them the momentum to push on to a bit more.
10-11 का स्कोर होते हुए इसी के साथ नहीं इनका गेम प्ले बस देखो भाई ये लोग बहुत सही कर ले रहे हैं
And with this timeout, there is a chance that Genji can turn this around on its head. 3 rounds in a row would give them the win over DRX. Buzz has the showstopper. Genji, a complete bag of pistols, and they just try to execute through Mako with the positioning.
तूने मेरा कॉल नहीं उठाया अरे भाई तूने जब कॉल किया था तब मैं खाना खा रहा था रेडिएंट प्रो है वो वही यार ये लोग सब लोग रेडिएंट प्रो है यार गोल्ड भाई बस देखो यार गेम प्ले देखो यार ठीक है इनका इको है 10-12 होने वाला है जेंजी का पता डिफेंस सही चल रहा था यार बीच में थोड़ा गू खा लिया थोड़ा गू खाने की वजह से गया थोड़ा गू ज्यादा गू नहीं बस थोड़ा गू फ्लॉलेस होते हुए और इसका 10-12 का स्कोर बनते हुए नॉट अ बिग इशू मैं बोल रहा था लोगों नॉट अ बिग इशू अच्छा कोई नहीं अरे मैं खाना खा रहा था रुके तेरे को कॉल करता हूँ ये मतलब बेटर से टीम वर्क है वही यार उनका डिफेंस देखो 2 जन को बी खेलने दिया 2 जन को एक और ब्रिमस्टोन को बोला कि भाई तुम स्पॉन खेलो क्यों स्पॉन खेलो इधर भी स्मोक करके इमरजेंसी रोटेट कर सकता है अगर जरूरत पड़ा तो ठीक है ये सही गेम प्ले चल रहा है इनका बहुत सही चल रहा है मैं बता रहा हूँ तुम लोगों को ठीक है क्या ये जिंजी कमबैक करेगी ये देखना बनता है अरे मिस्टर इंपीरियल वाइपर यार बढ़िया वाइपर का माँ को सही खेल रहा है वाइपर राइट बता यार क्या हाल चाल है सबके अरे यार मेरे को ना बहुत बड़ा वो हो रहा है पैनिक सा हो रहा है मैं पैनिक हो रहा हूँ इधर यार पैनिक इन लोगों को होना चाहिए पैनिक हो रहा हूँ मैं बहुत सीरियस जा रहा है मैच बहुत सीरियस उनका पास तुम मिनी मैप देखो गाइस उन्होंने क्या सेटअप लगाकर देखा है देखो अभी इन लोगों ने 2 बी खिलाया किसको केओ को और ब्रिम को इनको पता कि हेवी भी होने वाला है ठीक है और खिलाया लो एक खिलाया क्यों साइपर और वाइपर को एक साइड क्यों खिलाया क्योंकि ब्रिम तो स्मोक कर देगा और वाइपर और साइपर एक साइड पे रहेंगे तो ट्रैप से फंस जाएंगे वाइपर मॉली या गन से मार देगा और एक कंट्रोलर को बी दिलाया ठीक है टेक्सचर को डाउन किया ठीक है लाकिया का मार दिया और इसने के साथ डीआरएक्स जीतती हुई देखा बी हेवी किया तो उसने उन्होंने पता है अगर बी होगा तो ये करना पड़ेगा बी हेवी होगा तो यही चीज है ये जो कॉम्बो किया उसने यही चीज जरूरत है। DRX के साथ पहला वाला मैच जीतती हुई। DRX का 500 IQ गेम प्ले हो रहा है। वही यार मेरे को वही लग रहा है DRX का 500 IQ गेम प्ले तो हो रहा है, तो बहुत भयंकर वाला। अभी थोड़ी देर हाफ टाइम होगा, लाइक 30 सेकंड का हाफ टाइम, फिर चालू होगा सेकंड मैच। पहला मैच जीतती हुई गेम प्ले सीखना पड़ेगा। वही बोल रहा हूँ यहाँ से कि तुम गेम प्ले सीख जाओगे, समझ रहे हो। मैं तो मस्त चीयर को उधर ऐसे लेट के मस्त देख रहा हूँ यार, समझ रहे हो, मस्त मजा आ रहा है देखने में। भाई सोच कॉम्पी में भी तेरी टीम ऐसा खेल रही, तो भाई रेडियंट इजी। और हर कॉम्पी मैच में भी ऐसा होता है तो रेडियंट हो जाएगा इजीली, लेकिन नहीं होगा यार। क्यों पता है नहीं होगा? द मेन रीजन इज, देख हर कोई PM ऑफ इंडिया नहीं बन सकता, हर कोई बराक ओबामा नहीं बन सकता, हर कोई पुलिस ऑफिसर नहीं बन सकता, हर कोई वैसे ही हर कोई वैलोरेंट प्रो नहीं बन सकता। तुमको बनना, अगर तुमको चाहते हो बनना, तुम बन सकते हो। तुमको खुद लड़ाई करना पड़ेगा। अगर तुमको PM बनना है तो तुमको मतलब कष्ट तो करना पड़ेगा, मतलब स्ट्रगल तो करना पड़ेगा। हर कुछ काम करो स्ट्रगल तो है, कुछ भी काम करो स्ट्रगल करना पड़ेगा, तभी जीतोगे। समझ रहे हो? हर कुछ काम करो लेकिन स्ट्रगल उसके साथ तो करना पड़ेगा। विदाउट स्ट्रगल यू कैन नॉट विन दिस। चलो इसके साथ इनका स्कोर MVP साइपर और उधर टेक्सचर। गाइस 15 लाइक एंड चिंपी टेक इंटरव्यू ऑफ DRX। मैं DRX का इंटरव्यू लो। वाह भाई ये कर ले तुम। अब थोड़ा सा सो जाता है, फिर रात में मैंने कभी सोया नहीं है। सोता सोता गेम देखूंगा भाई। मस्त मैं चिल हूँ भाई, मेरे को तो मजा आ रहा है देखने में। ओके नेक्स्ट मैच असेंट आ चुका है यहाँ पे। वही जो चलता है, डबल इनिशिएटर, सिंगल डुअलिस्ट, एक कंट्रोलर और एक सेंटिनल। चालू होने दो फिर मैं उठ जाऊंगा। ये देखना है कि ये चल कैसे रहा है, मतलब लाइक इन लोगों का मैप कंट्रोल कैसा है, यही द मेन थिंग। इनसे सीख मिलती है बहुत कुछ, टू बी ऑनेस्ट। बहुत कुछ इन लोगों से सीख मिलती है यार। स्टार्ट होने दो।
मैप के लिए तो 5 सेकंड
चलो वापस चालू होने वाला है।
I mean, I could see that potentially sliding through. You know, Team Liquid just did it last night, but I don't think either of these teams are uncomfortable with this comp, but they've had tons of success with it throughout their history.
ईमान भाई
Players and these coaches and everything. So yeah.
ईमान भाई आप दोनों मैच करने वाले हो क्या वॉच पार्टी?
It's just going to come down to again individual execution. You know, can you keep
मकसद मत भूलियो, मकसद मत भूलियो. एग्जैक्टली मुशी, मकसद नहीं भूलने का.
fault buzz for much. It is sometimes as operator can
मुशी मकसद नहीं भूलने का.
We might not see too many lurks now coming
और मकसद है पुअर पीपल को खाना खिलाना, वही हमारा मेन मकसद है.
at least when they're going to be on the defending side.
Well, we'll see indeed what
एक बार मैच का वॉच पार्टी करके सो जाऊंगा, जो नींद आ रहा है खतरनाक वाला.
Thank you very much, Mika.
वागवत हमारे कब्जे में है,
The
कब्जे
same
में है.
compositions, but two different teams, and you know DRX might have had
Exactly.
that view of this map before, but
अभी फोकस करते हैं इस पे.
one against them.
असेंट पे आ चुके हैं हम. असेंट के मैप पे मैंने थोड़ा सो लिया.
See what they do bring into this
मैं
one.
सो ही गया था पूरा यार इधर.
They have a little bit of downtime after that first map. They say, okay, it was pretty close on buying, but now we're
चल देखते हैं इसमें खत्म कर दे. तो मैं एक मैच का वॉच पार्टी करके सो जाऊंगा यार. नींद आ रहा है यार भयंकर वाला.
And so I'm excited to see what they do have prepared for this one. As an early dagger does come out, and Munchkin and the team are getting out here pretty aggressively to challenge in a main. Now
अरे घुस क्या गई?
Buzz's friends
Texture is down. 3 versus 4 versus 4. Leo by system.
Try to push through again. It stacks his pop flash, and unfortunately, not too
ले
much
भाई
flying.
system हो गया.
Aaron's still able to hang back around Generator, but then Foxy9 with the sharper aim. 2-on-2. Spike not yet planted. The door gets shut, and Lakia sends out the shock dart.
ले भाई
Just
system.
narrowly misses Foxy9.
IMF को मतलब हमारी इन्फो दे रहा हमें किसी तरह की चाबी चाहिए.
Drop down. Pick up a bit of a frag still.
God.
That's gonna
अरे
be
पहले ये देखना बनता है कि क्या होता है अभी तक.
should be able to secure a safe
Lakia versus
tosses out
Ben.
the recon just to keep Lakia away. And then another recon back against him. Lakia with the movement hops up on top of Generator. Big noise.
ले भाई.
Kane is just
Lakia first
confused.
round जीतते हुए.
Lakia meshes with his head.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of
Not a big deal.
a bit of stomping.
पहला round.
That one, and well, Lockheed hit the shot first.
Okay.
So it's going to go his way.
NT for DRX right now.
Genji getting aggressive out here. Wasn't necessarily expecting this, but
Okay.
ended up going pretty well for them at the end of the day.
जरूरत हमारे कब्जे में होगा, फिर पूरी दुनिया कब्जा मेरी होगा, फिर हमें मकसद पूरा करना. भाई मकसद नहीं भूलना है, मकसद.
Yeah, I know I'm good. And that's going to be a good
हाँ
start
मकसद
for Genji.
बहुत 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 ज़्यादा डिफरेंट है भाई.
Because of that, they are
Okay.
by full
Come on.
3 Guardians.
मकसद नहीं भूलना. Let's go guys, let's go.
And this is a map where you're gonna have to work with so much information. DRX just continues to try to buzz
Okay.
through. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work out. Genji
Not a
are able
big
to hang
deal.
back and just take the fights against them simply and easily. Only losing the
2-0.
Spectre in this round.
Yeah, they'll be fine with that.
Score is 2-0.
Pretty intense shots hit there by Lakia. Who
Not a
already
big
has
deal.
5 kills on this one, so he's going to have his ult early in case Moxie gets his eventually.